Picture this. You're scrolling through your social media feed and an attractive stranger sends you a friend request. They seem charming, genuine, and interested in you, but beware, you might be a target of a romance scam. Romance scams, an unfortunate byproduct of the digital age, are deceptive schemes where fraudsters masquerade as potential suitors to manipulate and exploit their victims emotionally and financially. These scams have become increasingly prevalent on social media platforms, where millions of people are searching for connections and companionship. Now, you might be thinking, this could never happen to me. I'm too savvy, too smart. But here's the reality. Anyone can fall victim to a romance scam. Yes, you heard that right. Anyone. Regardless of your age, gender, or location, these fraudsters are skilled manipulators who prey on vulnerability and trust. Let's start with some sobering facts. According to a report from the Federal Trade Commission, losses from romance scams reached a staggering $700 million in 2023 alone. That's more than any other type of consumer fraud reported. And these are just the cases that were reported. Many victims, burdened by shame or embarrassment, choose to suffer in silence. So how do these scams work? It starts with a simple friend request or a message. The scammer, posing as an attractive, genuine individual, begins to build a relationship with their target. They invest time, sending daily messages, sharing stories, and expressing affection. Once they've gained their victim's trust, they start to weave their web of deceit. They may spin a tale of financial hardship or an urgent need for money. They might ask for personal information or even request expensive gifts. The most alarming part? These scammers are patient. They don't rush. They're willing to spend weeks, even months, cultivating a relationship before they make their move. By the time the victim realizes what's happening, it's often too late. So, what exactly is a romance scam and how does it work? Let's dive in. The best way to understand the impact of romance scams is by hearing real-life stories from those who have experienced them. Let's begin with Lisa. Lisa, a vibrant woman in her late 40s, was looking for companionship after her divorce. She met a man named Robert on a reputable dating site. Robert claimed to be a successful entrepreneur, traveling between Europe and the United States. He was charming, attentive, and seemed genuinely interested in Lisa. Over time, they grew close, and Robert started sharing stories of financial difficulties. Lisa, moved by his plight, sent him a significant amount of money to help. It was only when Robert disappeared after receiving the funds that Lisa realized she had been scammed. Then, there's the story of James, a retired widower in his 60s. James met a young woman named Maria on a social media platform. Maria claimed to be a nurse working in a war-torn region. She shared heart-wrenching stories of her work and the dire conditions she was living in. Maria needed money to ensure her safety and to return home. James, feeling a deep connection with Maria and wanting to help, sent her the requested funds. Unfortunately, Maria vanished after receiving the money, leaving James devastated both emotionally and financially. Lastly, we have Emma, a single mother in her 30s, who was swept off her feet by Alex, a supposed soldier stationed overseas. Alex was a perfect gentleman, always saying the right things and showing genuine concern for Emma and her child. However, as their relationship deepened, Alex began asking for small amounts of money, promising to pay back once he returned home. Emma, believing in Alex's promises, sent the money only to find out later that Alex was a scam artist, preying on her vulnerability. These stories are heartbreaking, but they're important reminders of the dangers lurking in the online dating world. Each of these individuals was looking for love and companionship, and instead, they found deception and heartache. The emotional toll is immense, and the financial loss can be devastating. But remember, these scams are not reflections on the victims. These scams are orchestrated by skilled manipulators who exploit human kindness and the desire for connection. So, as we navigate the digital landscape in search of genuine connections, let's keep these stories in mind. They serve as stark reminders of the necessity to remain vigilant and cautious. In the next part of this video, we'll delve into the red flags to look out for and offer practical tips for avoiding romance scams. Now that we understand the impact of romance scams, how can we spot them? Well, The first step is to be aware of the red flags. These are warning signals that something may not be quite right. Let's delve into a few of these. Firstly, if the individual you've connected with online seems too perfect, this could be cause for concern. Scammers often create fake profiles with attractive photos and impressive resumes to lure you in. They may claim to have a glamorous job or a heart-wrenching backstory. Be wary if their life seems more like a movie script than reality. Secondly, pay attention to inconsistencies in their story. If details about their life, work, or family change over time, it could be a sign that you're dealing with a scammer. They might say they have a daughter in one conversation and then forget and mention a son in the next. These inconsistencies can be subtle, but they're important to note. Thirdly, be cautious if they profess deep feelings for you very quickly. Scammers often use this tactic to make you feel special and loved. They might say they've never felt this way before, or that you're the one they've been waiting for. Remember, genuine relationships take time to develop. Fourthly, if they consistently avoid meeting in person, or even via video call, that's another red flag. They might always have an excuse about why they can't meet, or why their camera isn't working. This is often because they're not who they claim to be. Finally, be very wary if they ask for money or personal information. They might make up a sob story about a sick relative or a business deal gone wrong. But no matter how convincing they sound, never send money or share sensitive information with someone you haven't met in person. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Keep these red flags in mind, and always trust your gut. If something feels off, it's better to be safe than sorry. Spotting red flags is a great start, but how do we actively protect ourselves from these scams? The answer lies in awareness, vigilance, and a healthy dose of skepticism. Let's delve into some practical tips to keep you a step ahead of the romance scammers lurking on social media platforms. Firstly, be skeptical of fast lovers. Love is a beautiful thing, but when it's declared within a week or so of meeting online, it's time to step back and question the sincerity. Scammers often use the lure of love to pull at the heartstrings and manipulate emotions. If someone is professing love too quickly, it could be a sign that they're not who they claim to be. Secondly, conduct a background check. In an era where information is just a click away, conducting a quick online search can save you from a lot of heartache. Use the information they've given you to verify their story. If you can't find any digital footprint, or if what you find doesn't match up with what they've told you, it's a significant red flag. Next, never send money to someone you've never met in person. This is perhaps the most crucial piece of advice. Scammers often invent emergencies or crises to manipulate their victims into sending money. No matter how convincing their story may be, resist the urge to send money. Remember, legitimate love interests won't ask for financial help, especially not early in a relationship. Also, be wary of inconsistent stories. If your online admirer's details or stories change over time, it's a clear sign that something's amiss. Scammers juggle multiple victims at a time, and it's easy for them to mix up their stories. Keep track of the information they share and don't hesitate to question inconsistencies. Another tip is to be cautious about sharing personal information. Scammers can use your personal details to steal your identity or manipulate you further. Keep your personal and financial information private until you've met in person and established a level of trust. Finally, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore that nagging feeling or those doubts that creep in. It's always better to be safe than sorry. In conclusion, while the world of online dating offers a platform to connect with people from all walks of life, it's essential to navigate it with caution. The internet is a double-edged sword, bringing us closer while at the same time exposing us to potential scams. By staying vigilant, conducting background checks, being skeptical of quick declarations of love, and never sending money to someone you haven't met, you can protect yourself from the emotional and financial devastation of romance scams. With these tips in mind, you're better equipped to navigate the world of online dating safely. For more insights, we've invited experts in cybersecurity, psychology, and law enforcement to share their knowledge. First, we turn to our cybersecurity expert, who explains, Romance scams are, unfortunately, a widespread issue on social media platforms. Scammers often use sophisticated techniques to appear legitimate. They might steal identities, create fake profiles, or even hack into real ones. The key to detecting these scams is to be aware of their tactics and to be skeptical of anyone who seems too good to be true. Next, we speak with our resident psychologist, who delves into the mindset of these scammers. The psychology behind romance scams is complex. Scammers are skilled manipulators, often using tactics like love bombing, showering their victims with affection and attention to create a false sense of intimacy and trust. They also prey on vulnerability, loneliness, and the innate human desire for companionship. Our legal expert then sheds light on the law's perspective. Legally, romance scams are a form of fraud. However, tracking and prosecuting these criminals can be challenging due to their global nature and the anonymity provided by the internet. Nonetheless, it's vital for victims to report these scams to local law enforcement and online platforms to help put a stop to these activities. As we delve deeper, our cybersecurity expert offers some prevention strategies. Firstly, be vigilant. Look out for common red flags like requests for money, inconsistencies in their stories, and reluctance to meet in person. Secondly, conduct a background check. Use search engines, image searches, and online resources to verify their identity. Our psychologist adds, remember, it's okay to be skeptical and take your time in online relationships. Don't let anyone rush you into commitment or financial decisions. And always listen to your gut feeling. If something feels off, it probably is. Finally, our law enforcement expert advises, if you suspect you've been targeted by a romance scam, report it immediately. Don't be embarrassed or blame yourself. These scammers are professionals at what they do. Your report can help protect others and potentially lead to the scammer's prosecution. In wrapping up our expert interviews, it's clear that the fight against romance scams is a multifaceted effort, involving vigilance, education, and the courage to report suspicious activities. As our experts highlighted, staying informed and vigilant are our best defenses against these scams. Romance scams are a serious issue that can have devastating effects, but by staying informed and vigilant, we can protect ourselves. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. We started by defining what a romance scam is, a nefarious scheme where someone creates a fake identity to deceive a person into a romantic relationship with the aim of exploiting them emotionally and financially. We've seen how these fraudsters operate on social media platforms, using manipulative tactics to gain trust and love, only to betray that trust in the most heartbreaking way. From the real-life stories we've shared, it's clear that the impact is not just financial. The emotional toll these scams take on individuals is profound and long-lasting. It's a reminder that anyone can be a victim, regardless of age, gender, or background. We've discussed the red flags to look out for: requests for money, inconsistencies in stories, and reluctance to meet in person. These signs should alert us to potential danger, prompting us to step back, ask questions, and do a little sleuthing. Our tips for avoiding romance scams are crucial. Conducting background checks, being cautious of professing love too quickly, and never sending money to someone you haven't met in person. These are all practical steps to safeguard against these scams. Our experts have provided invaluable insights into the psychology of scammers, legal implications, and strategies for prevention. Their knowledge enhances our understanding and equips us with the tools to stay safe online. And remember, if you're ever in doubt or need support, there are resources available to you. Reach out, report suspicious activity, and seek help if you've been affected by a romance scam. In conclusion, the internet has given us many things, including new ways to connect with people around the world. But it's also given rise to new forms of deception and exploitation. It's important that we stay vigilant when engaging in online relationships. And remember that if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Remember, your safety is paramount. Share this video with your friends and family to spread awareness and help prevent more people from falling victim to romance scams. Before we wrap up, we want to engage with you, our viewers, because your comments, likes, and shares help us make more people aware of these scams. Have you or anyone you know ever come across a situation that felt like a potential romance scam? Share your experiences in the comment section below. Your stories can help others identify and avoid similar situations. If you have additional tips or red flags that we didn't cover in this video, feel free to share them as well. Every piece of information can be beneficial. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. By doing so, you're not only supporting our channel, but also helping to spread awareness about romance scams, which could potentially save someone from becoming a victim. Remember, knowledge is power, and sharing this knowledge with others can make a huge difference. Stay safe, stay informed, and let's continue to look out for each other in the digital world. Thanks for watching.